Good morning, everyone. We're so excited to have you here for March. Oh, wait, it says February. My apologies. It's March 16, 2023, and it's our customer success webinar here from DeepTarget. And so it's great to have you guys here today. I'm David Kingsbury. I run our digital experience programs. We have Helen with us. She had some technical difficulties a moment ago. Hopefully she'll join us in a second. And we have Jacob with us. Jacob is one of our senior technicians working on many of our implementations and with customers as well. So today our topic is how to use your data to optimize user engagement. So we're really excited about the ways we can do that. So we're going to get started and show you how that works. And so the first real question is, why should you care about data? So that's really important to think about. Otherwise, how are you providing relevant communications with your members and customers and making it a very special, personalized engagement? Now we're going to talk about the 5 ways that we have, and there's actually a couple more, but the 5 main ways. And throughout that, we're going to talk about use cases, and then we're going to do a Java Joy as well. So just to remind you, there are really 3 things that go on when you're engaging your customers and members. First of all, you're determining what you want to promote. Then you're going to determine or discover a particular audience that you'd like to promote to. Then you're going to use ways to communicate, invite, and engage them. And then you're going to use those results coming back into your decision-making going forward. So that life cycle is going on all the time. And the very center of it is your data. And we can't forget about that and how important that is. So why should you care about your data? So our number 1 goal is to have a great user experience. And with that in mind, when we use our data, we can optimize that experience, because relevant information for your customers and members is the key to building trust and loyalty. And that's so important in today's world. So many of us want to trust our financial institution and, if you will, find the best products and services, learn how to use them, and be fully informed in that. And honestly, it's really easy to use your data. What we're suggesting is that you not just use all user campaigns. Use your data to make it a more relevant engagement. Because all users are simply like putting a billboard out on the highway, or in this case, if you used a banner with just all user capability in DeepTarget, then everybody sees it whether they're interested or not, and they tend to tune that out. I'm not saying don't use, and if Helen were on the call, she would just, oh good, Helen, how important it is to have 2 or 3 all user campaigns. But
that's right. That's right. And you want to use your all users for your communications, and you're always going to have those member or user communications that you want to get out to everyone.
Exactly. So perfect. And it's so easy to use your data for personalization. And I know many of you hear me say this over and over again. A person's name is the number 1 word that every individual wants to hear. It's their own name. And so they want to see it, and they want to know that you're talking to them and not just some sort of, if you will, number out there being displayed, certain ads. And if you show relevant ads, that means that you actually know that individual. And so those relevant ads, personalized when they're interested in your product or service, is guarantees almost that they believe you know them and they trust you, and their loyalty is stronger. Because users are smart today, and nothing is more irritating to any one of us than going out there and looking for something, and 6 months later you're still getting that same ad that you may or may not have been interested in, still tracking you, if you will. Okay. All right, great. So what are the 5 ways to optimize the user experience using data? First of all, in DeepTarget, we have an extensive way to actually target, which is discover and identify users that are should be interested in products or services at this point in time. Number two is the data that you're going to upload into the system and its timeliness and the data fields that come with it. And we're going to talk about that. Helen's going to add to that. What we just talked about a moment ago is adding in real time data to a particular ad. So it's, once again, a relevant and personalized experience. And reporting and analysis to optimize. We'll show you about that. So we have, as many of you know, we have super reporting capabilities, and it allows you to do analysis to further engage and optimize your engagement. And we're going to talk about a couple of those examples. And then I throw in the analytics API because now you can pull the data back out of DeepTarget into another environment so that others can use that data and do some exploring, if you will. Okay, so let me go back to that three-circle wheel, if you will, and once again say the most important thing to do is to understand who is most interested in the products and services you're offering across your whole FI. And the reality is it's not hard at all when you use DeepTarget, because we're going to help you discover that right person at the right time with that right product or service. Okay, so let's talk about targeting for just a minute, and I'll ask Helen to jump in as well. But we say targeting individuals first before the data because it's really important for you to understand what is the criteria or data that you would like to use to find that individual most likely interested. So Helen, let me ask you to, if you wouldn't mind, to speak to these three.
Okay. Still on that topic, you know, you as the marketing person, you want to think about, you know, what types of targeting you want to do. Do you want to do it by zip code? Do you want to do it by accounts? You just do you want to do it by branch? You know, there's different ways that you can do it. So as you're thinking about the ways that you want to target, you want to check to see if your data has that in it. So for targeted by rule, that's where we use specific data fields that get sent in your extracts to create a rule and create that criteria for, you know, who's going to be able to see that. So, you know, that's what you're going to do for that one. Target by list is going to go by your member ID, but you may have another system where, you know, you have done some calculations, or, you know, that data might not be in your core, or it may be in another system where we don't get that information in the data. So you're going to be creating your list externally and uploading those into DeepTarget. And then target by predictive model, that's going to use the data that you send to us with some mandatory fields that DeepTarget requires to be able to do predictive model. But it is similar to target by rule, but it has more fields that it looks at as it determines who would meet that criteria and who would be most, you know, have the highest probability or propensity to open an account.
Exactly.
Based on that criteria.
So we use machine learning, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the predictive model. So it takes the heavy lifting, if you will, off of creating that rule, and we make that prediction in this particular type of campaign, which is really awesome. And many of you know that we've got a new capability coming out this summer, which is going to be really phenomenal as well. So we'll wait to that discussion. But thank you, Helen. That's great. But let's now take a look at an example. So many of you may not be aware of what data you actually supply to us. It may have been set up a year or two or more ago when the uploads began with us. Here's one way to look at some of the data that's exposed to you. You can go to any campaign analytics report online, and there'll be a gearbox, if you will, I say gearbox, a gear symbol icon in the corner. You click on it. It's going to unveil to you, in this case, this particular customer is only exposing age, branch, and full name of the individual. These are checked, meaning when I hit an export data button here, that data will be exported to me. But that's all I have. Now, there Helen will speak to the fact that there's more data in just a moment, but here's an example of another customer of ours, and they've actually exposed quite a bit more with the goal of taking that export file and going and doing more things with it, either direct follow-up emails or whatnot. Now, you don't have to do all of this stuff directly, but they're actually doing analysis on the members who have, in this case, clicked, and refining their engagement. So, which is pretty interesting. I don't want you to be misled. There are other ways to send out information out of DeepTarget for follow-up, and we're going to speak to those as well. But this is just a neat little thing that you may not be aware of all the time. I'm sure, Jacob, you train everybody about this in your training sessions, right? And you may be muted.
Yes, yeah, this is typically something we cover in most of the training sessions that we
Awesome.
have.
And incidentally, I'll just throw out, if any of you guys need some updated training, especially on the data, reach out to us. You can reach out to support@deeptarget.com, and we'll set up a meeting to show you that. Okay, so let's go to actual data. So your data uploads, there are two components to it. It's what's the timeliness of your uploads, and then what is the data you're actually uploading. And the timeliness is really important because the optimal way to upload data for us, for your system to be completely fresh at all times, is daily. We have most of our customers using daily, some weekly, some biweekly, and some monthly, but I'll just say daily is the best. And so, Helen, I'll turn it back over to you to talk about what data do you need, and then what's going on with the data underneath. Okay.
Okay, typically everyone has some basic demographic data that that you use. You know, it's maybe like what products they have, what their age is, and things like that. But you know, if you want things like branch or zip code, or you have some particular amounts that you want to use, let's just say like for a money market, maybe you for a money market account, you only want somebody that has $10,000 in their checking account or savings to be, be offered that. Using rule-based campaigns within DeepTarget, you want to make sure you have that kind of information in your data. We also have recommended data fields that we suggest. We have mandatory and recommended ones. Part of those we mentioned earlier for the predictive model. But you may have, some things come out of your core, but you may have external data that's outside your core. You may hold credit cards externally, or you may have, some other Experian data or out of another data warehouse that you want to use and combine that with DeepTarget. All you have to do for those is to, augment the files that you sent to us. You can change the ones you have sent to us, or you can supplement that with an extra file or two and send those to data, and DeepTarget will assimilate all that information and put that in our database so we can, get that information. So one thing that, somebody mentioned that you may have that doesn't come out of the core, that information that we see, or maybe some transactional information, you may be able to provide that information to DeepTarget through a separate file, and we would process that and use that for other kind of targeting.
Perfect. Good. All right. Thank you, Helen, for that. And so we'll keep going here. So number 3 are ads with real-time display of data. So many of you may not be aware, maybe you are, but it's real easy to add real-time data into the immediate display of the ad. And our first one is the very simple one, prepend first name. This is actually an option within the editing of an ad. When you create it, you can just check prepend first name as you add that text box, and it would look like this. And it gets Frank, and then we automatically add a comma behind it. And you can add more. So you can add interest rate, that's an example, based on pre-approved status. So this 2.7% might be unique to Frank based on certain criteria in his data. It could be higher for other reasons or lower for other reasons as well. But again, displayed in real time. You can also modify the engagement with the member. So for instance, you can add syntax into the text field like, hi, first name, exclamation point. And we're going to place in real time, John, the first name of the member or customer, directly into the ad with a little bit of more excitement to it. So you could, honestly, I don't know if you could throw an emoji in there. Helen, could you throw in an emoji of some sort in there?
I don't know. I haven't tried that.
It just hit me. But you can see this personal loan amount also could be related to their data. This is a certain amount that they're pre-approved for, in fact. So that's a great way to do it. And then we have other customers of ours that actually pop up contact information, pop up an ad that says, hey, your current contact information is this. If this needs to be updated, please click and let's go update that. So once again, pull all that data into the ad. So Helen, anything else to add on this screen?
No, just to let you know that, you're not limited to just first name. Like
Oh, yeah.
said,
That's right.
you've got other fields that you can put in different spaces. So as you're designing your ad, think about leave some space for that first name, because that is really important. And, we've seen a lot of great engagement on that when people use the first name.
Perfect. Good. Thank you, Helen. Good work. Then reporting and analysis. So just like we talked about a minute ago, you can export those clicks. So once you export, then you can use them for a lot of other things. Taking that list of clicks and actually creating a targeted list, target by list campaign to re-engage. So, and I'll talk about audiences here in a second, but when you export, this is an example of what you're going to get in an export file of clicks. When you hit that export button at the bottom right of the click display, it's going to give you information. I've removed information that is personal, but it's the campaign name, the category, the channels used, when they first clicked, and the last click, and then the click count, which is really cool. And then based on the checks, remember we saw from the gear selection, you can add additional information. And this one includes age, but I'll come back to that. What's great here is we've just sorted this now by click count. And this particular individual has clicked 5 times and this one 5 and 4. So you may want to follow up. I say 3 clicks or more in the last month. That shows real interest, and therefore you may want to follow up directly with them. And if you don't follow up directly, and we have obviously we haven't talked about much the ways you can follow up automatically. You can with this report follow up directly as well, because you have their email, their phone number, and so forth for immediate follow-up. Okay, but you could also take this list, and which we've exported for this example here, and combine it with basically finding those individuals that have already taken out. This is a HELOC example. So if they've taken out a HELOC, let's don't send them, go do another campaign to them about HELOC. Let's remove duplicates, if you will, and in that comparison, and create that new retarget list that we can then have a campaign, utilize that list to go engage them further. So that's one option, and that's a use case that some of our customers are using today. And again, if you'd like to learn more, we're happy to help you understand how to do this. Okay, and then don't forget about audiences. Each of the targeted campaigns allows you to generate that audience, and out of that audience then comes your ability to then email or text them, use them for direct mail, use them for your call center or your teller messages, that sort of thing. So we came out with this last spring. We want to continue to promote it because it is gets more and more excitement because our audiences, especially from the predictive model, are pretty amazing. And that means you don't have to do the work. You let us do it for you. Okay, great. So the last one is our Analytics API. And our Analytics API, once again, allows you to use other BI tools to reach directly into Deep Target and pull out impressions and clicks. And if you want some other data that may have passed through to Deep Target. And so we have many users today that actually are implementing the clicks direct automation to their CRM. And others are adding the impressions and clicks just into the analytics team with the other data to do some analysis like I described a minute ago. Sometimes you want to look at the other data, propensities to engage. And so we have a lot of data analytics going on there with that. And don't forget, you can send an automated email when someone clicks, and you can send a report or email to your team when a user clicks, or periodically with your to your team based on those that have clicked in the last day, week, what have you as well. So once again, if you'd like more information on that, we'll share that with you. So here's Deep Target's big data over here on the left, and you can use our analytics API to pull it into a BI tool or into your sales tool or other marketing automation. And this is a simple Microsoft BI rendering of us in literally a manner of 15 minutes, creating this set of views. And finally, this is an example of what some credit unions and banks have talked to us about, pulling weekly leads into if you will, a worldview dashboard for the upper management to see, new account trend, revenue, sales per product, CR leads and work, and so forth. So pulling all the different information together into one BI environment so they can see across your organization what's going on. Okay, more of a heartbeat of what's going on. And I couldn't leave this out. Helen and I discuss this quite often because I like to talk about it. This is the ability in each of your campaigns that are targeting to, if a certain number of impressions and or clicks have not occurred in a certain number of days, then you actually, we can have Deep Target automatically turn that campaign off and wait a certain number of days and then automatically turn it back on. So that is really another cool feature that will help make sure that relevant ads are displayed to your customers and members. So if you want more details on that, again, we'd love to share that with you. But really cool thing, nobody in the industry does this either. And so that's tough. Tough meaning yay. So Deep Target, yeah, data. We love working with data and we use it all the time. So we're happy to share all these ways that you can utilize it and even more. So don't be afraid to ask us how you might utilize it inside of Deep Target. Anything, whether it's across these or augmenting other data types into the data for greater engagement. Okay. All right. I've got a couple more things real quick I'd like to share. So coming soon, in fact, the end of this month, 1st of April, our next release of Deep Target comes out, and we're gonna have a new option in it where the banner ads will actually do this kind of roll. So you'll be able to time this just like you are the other banner ads. And you'll notice I show you this. This is in a test environment. This is inside of Banno if you're a Banno customer. This is how it would look in the Banno widget environment. And this also looks like some of the other unified platforms that we support, but it will roll inside of that widget as well. So we're really excited about this. This is mobile, this is online banking. So we hope this is cool for you guys too. It simply is going to become a part of the product, and we'd love to see you guys take advantage of it. So perfect. Also, we're excited about the monthly management report. It's going to be augmented with a new look that's going to include revenue, and it's going to show you when you have not received influence conversions, basically when you've not run a campaign and therefore not provided any kind of direct influence for a new sale. And so it'll be a pretty stark view that you've, for instance, in this case, not run any, if you will, HELOCs for a period of time. And so you might want to consider doing that because it does show basically where you've missed out on opportunities. And then it's going to total, depending on the number of months displayed, and estimate the revenue. And so this, again, you can share with upper management that you've generated this amount of new sales revenue via your digital channel, and you can say that marketing is really a profit center and no longer a cost center. Okay. And we're real excited about this last release we have. It's our new member appreciation and recognition service we call MARS. I've talked to some of you guys about it. It is a complete turnkey system where we're going to recognize each one of your members that have a birthday in this particular month, or they have an anniversary in this particular month. And so imagine, if you will, that they get a URL inside of one of your emails that will drive, if they click on it, take them to this site, which is a microsite that will be branded by you and with our help. We would do it. You just ask us how to share with us how you'd like it branded. And we'll have 3D Story here on the side wishing them a happy birthday. And it will be sound enabled and rotating on its own. And it's a really nice experience for your customers and members. And Helen, I think we have 5 or 6 customers already signed up to implement this, correct?
That's correct.
So we're really excited about that. And if you haven't seen it or would like to see it, let me know. I'd be happy to show you in great detail how it works. But again, we run it all for you. And here's an example of the anniversary. So we'll pull out of your data and another microsite displayed. And here goes anniversary messages happening here, and sound can happen. Anyway, it's really nice engagement. So really excited about that. So I see we have, I think Brenna raised her hand. That tells me, Brenna, you must be excited about this and want us to give you a call to show you this capability. So that's where I'll go with on that. Awesome. All right, perfect. And don't forget, we also are offering managed services. So we'll run all of Deep Target for you at an incredibly reasonable price. Get you all excited about that. And Helen, how many do we have already signed up that have jumped on this here just in the past few months since we started offering it?
We're about 7.
7, 8 or so.
Mhm.
So having our experts on your team can be a real advantage for a really ridiculously low price, and it's all about helping you guys be successful. Okay, so with the bottom of the hour, it's Java Joy time, and I'm going to throw it over to you, Helen. Would you do a random throw a bunch of names up
All
in
right,
the
I'm
air?
gonna check who's still online here.
Yep.
Okay, today's winner is going to be Cody Morgan.
Woo! Cody Morgan, buttercream green St. Patrick's Day coffee just for you of some sort. I tease you, but you can pick it out. So we'll send that out to you here shortly. Thank you guys for joining us. Be here next time. We're going to dive into our new release in more detail and share you some exciting stuff coming with that. You guys have a great day. Reach out to us at any time if there's anything we can do to help you. And also know that all these PowerPoints are online on our YouTube channel within a couple days. So that's awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Jacob. See you guys. Perfect. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.